Good morning, everyone. So I think most of the members have joined, and I'll start it now. Uh, Good morning, everyone. My name is Varkha Samant, and I welcome you all to Sanji Samant, the discussion session of Tech Mahindra Foundation on matters related to teachers and education. Thank you for joining us for this very important discussion on an issue that is extremely important and relevant for promoting safety in schools and minimizing risk of injuries and disability among the students while ensuring their well-being. The foundation is committed to create happier and safer classrooms by empowering teachers, educators, and leaders in knowledge, skills, and attitude domains, aiming for effective school governance. For creating a conducive and safe learning space, Foundation has initiated multiple interventions to create awareness about child safety, mental health, and empowering teachers with counseling skills to ensure students' well-being. First aid and CPR sessions will be an important and critical addition to these interventions. For the next 1 hour, we are eagerly looking forward to an enlightening session with deep insights from the key stakeholders who are deeply connected with this theme. Once again, on behalf of Tech Mahindra Foundation, let me extend a very well welcome to all the dignitaries, educationists, and practitioners who are with us. I would now like to invite my colleague and our host for the event, Ruksha Mitra. Ruksha, over to you.
Thanks, Varkha. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruksha Mitra. Today, we are here to talk about an extremely important public health issue that is related to child safety in schools. Now, there are several pertinent questions when it comes to this topic. How do we ensure the safety of our children, especially when they are interacting with the outside community? How, as parents and guardians, can we ensure that our child has adequate safety nets when they venture out of their homes? How do we ensure that all caretakers of our children are well aware and capable enough to intervene in case of any unforeseen emergency and especially medical emergencies? How do we ensure there is a concrete understanding of knowledge and of the knowledge of safe behavior among the children so that it further supports their holistic development? So while these are the larger questions that form the subtext of today's topic, we are here to specifically focus on how to ensure safety of our children when they are in school and how the knowledge of first aid can help in ensuring the same. This is also important in the background of September 11, 2021, that is recognized as the World First Aid Day. The inception of this important milestone was first established in the year 2000 by the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. And the theme for the year 2021 is First Aid at School. So therefore, this raises the pertinent question on how we can develop and strengthen the safety ecosystem in our schools by increasing awareness and accessibility to first aid. How can this system be institutionalized and capacities can be created so that we enable this to prevent serious injuries and lifelong disabilities? So these are some questions that we will debate to find answers in an exciting panel discussion today. So before we start, I would like to inform our audience regarding some ground rules that we would like to follow throughout today's session. I would request all the participants to remain on mute. If you do have any questions that you want to pose to our panelists, you can send in your questions on our chat box to any of our co-hosts or the host. I would also request the participants if you can keep your videos disabled. That helps in maintaining the network bandwidth and it also helps in minimizing distractions. There are some tips that we would also like to provide that can help in enhancing your viewing experience. If you want to remove the non-video participants, I would request everyone to go to the panel where you can see all the participants. And over there, you can disable the hide the non-video participants option. So with that, we are ready to start today's session. And for those who have just joined us, this is Ruksha Mitra from Tech Mahindra Foundation, extending a warm welcome to everyone. Now I would like to invite my colleague Tanish Maheshwari to speak a little about the foundation. Tanish, over to you.
Thank you, Ruksha. Good morning to all. I'm Tanish Maheshwari, Allow me to quickly run you through our programs at Tech Mahindra Foundation. Tech Mahindra Foundation, or TMF, is the CSR arm of Tech Mahindra Limited. Established in 2007, the foundation works with the vision of empowerment through education and the areas of employability, education, and disability. Disability and women empowerment are cross-cutting themes for us, and the foundation mandates that at least 10% of our beneficiaries will be persons with disabilities and over 50% women. TMF operates with a fine mix of partner-implemented projects where we work with a number of partners across 11 locations. Not only that, we have a significant direct implementation portfolio too. Coming to our programs. Within employability, SMART, or Skills for Market Training, is our flagship program. Launched in 2012, it is implemented through NGO partners with a strong presence in the community. Currently, we have 87 such centers across the country. These centers are engaged in skilling youth through structured training and help them get dignified jobs thereafter in the formal sector. SMART has evolved itself as one of the largest urban skilling programs in India. Under this program, there are SMART centers training youth for the services industry, SMART T that offer technical courses, and SMART Plus, which are for persons with disabilities. Following the success of the SMART centers, the foundation launched the SMART Academies, which are our directly implemented projects. The academies offer advanced, diploma, and long-term courses in sector-specific training in healthcare, digital technologies, and logistics. Presently, we have 4 healthcare academies in Delhi, Mohali, Mumbai, which is an all-women academy, and the latest one in Pune. We are proud to say that our alumni from these healthcare academies and centers have been serving the nation as COVID warriors in these times of distress. The 3 academies for digital technologies train youth for the technologically advanced world. They are based out of Vizag, Hyderabad, Mohali, and 1 academy for logistics in Vizag. Post-COVID, all our SMART centers and academies have now adopted the blended learning approach to continue learning. Moving to the education programs, we have ARISE, or All-Round Improvement in School Education, where we work with municipal corporations and partner organizations to develop primary schools into schools of excellence. We also have ARISE Plus, which is a special program for children with disabilities. We are presently working with 40 schools across the country. Our second major education program is Shikshantar, committed to creating happier and safer classrooms by capacity building of teachers, educators, and other stakeholders. In Delhi, we have the In-Service Teacher Education Institutes, or the ITIs. ITI EDMC was set up in 2013 in collaboration with East Delhi Municipal Corporation. In fact, we also have Dr. Seema Ji from EDMC joining us today, and you will hear from her later in the event. Our second ITI came in existence in 2018 in collaboration with North Delhi Municipal Corporation. Both these institutes design and deliver training in close coordination with the education department. Over the years, these institutes are evolving into a hub of research work within the education vertical. Post the pandemic, there have been a number of significant interventions to raise awareness about child safety, mental health, digital literacy, and cybersecurity. Mobile Science Lab is another initiative in the area of education in association with EDMC. It is a bus that visits EDMC schools as a traveling laboratory for EVS learning. Moving to the numbers. Over the years, the foundation and the figures are visible on your screen. Apart from the programs, employee volunteering is an area where TechM associates contribute their time for volunteering work as their payback to the society. Rise for Good is a way of life for us. Inspired by the philosophy of our group, the foundation came up with a COVID relief and rehabilitation program in March 2020 to support the society in emergency relief and help India rise against COVID. That's it from my side for now. Thank you, Rupsha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tanish. So we are now set the motion and proceedings for today. And for that, I would like to invite 2 extremely distinguished guests with us who have joined the discussion. So the first distinguished guest is Dr. Vanshi Singh. Dr. Vanshi Singh is in charge of St. John and First Aid Training, and she is the director of the Indian Red Cross Society's Blood Bank, and she will also be giving the keynote address today. She is a medical doctor and has advanced training in blood transfusion medicine from ICMR. She is a postgraduate in transfusion and transplant sciences from Bristol University, UK. She has advanced training in first aid from the International Committee of Red Cross. She has also achieved several awards, including that from the Honorable Health Minister, NACO, and governors of other state branches. Welcome, Dr. Vanshi. Let me also take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Subroto Das. He is the winner of Padma Shri for his work on highway trauma care through the Lifeline Foundation that aims to reduce annual highway deaths in India. He is the only Indian to be honored with the Asian EMS Lifetime Achievement Award by the Asian EMS Council in 2015. Along with his wife, he was honored with the Red and White Bravery Gold Award for social acts of courage. He has been associated with various projects on road safety and EMS, supported by NITI Aayog and the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. Welcome, Dr. Das. It's lovely to have you here. May I now invite the CEO of Tech Mahindra Foundation, Mr. Rakesh Soni, to share a few words and to formally welcome Dr. Singh and Dr. Das. Mr. Soni, I
Good
think
morning,
you're on mute.
everyone. Sorry, I think. Good morning, everyone. Prayer on the occasion of the Samaj, the fourth series of annual convening of Tech Mahindra Foundation. Through this flagship initiative, we collectively engage on matters related to education and health and develop and delve deep to identify the roadmap to make our related efforts more socially relevant. We have a special focus this year on child safety and health, and the theme of the discussion is first aid in schools, the role of a teacher. This is commonly known but least understood strategy for child protection, especially in our educational institutions. When we initiated our research, it was disturbing to know from the WHO that injuries are one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality among children under the age of 18. More than 8 lakh children every year die, and millions get hospitalized due to injuries. It becomes pertinent to discuss this, and especially in the context of World First Aid Day, where we want to establish, based on our new research report, that a lot of this risk is avoidable, especially in schools where children are exposed to a range of risks and accidents. We have made special efforts to understand through this research the potential risks and preparedness of schools in responding appropriately to emergency and adequate first aid solutions to avert serious crises. Teachers who spend the maximum time with students are the best bystanders who can be skilled to provide the initial and well-informed first aid response. Tech Mahindra Foundation recognizes the importance of empowering teachers as catalysts. The findings of our new study can help to chart the roadmap to strengthen school safety, improve knowledge and practice of first aid in developing the capacity of teachers through well-designed training programs to protect children. In this context, we have excellent experts with us today who are deeply involved with the issue and can throw light on the challenges and the roadmap. I really want to once again welcome our distinguished guests, Dr. Vanashri Singh, as well as Dr. Subroto Das to this particular event. Along with our special guests, I also take the honor to e-launch our new report, First Aid for Improving Safety in Schools, a teacher's perspective. I certainly hope that this report will be read and disseminated widely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Soni, for releasing our report along with our special guests, Dr. Vanshri and Dr. Shubroto. We deeply appreciate your guidance and support. Let me now take the opportunity to briefly highlight the objective and the findings of our latest study to set the context for the panel discussion thereafter. So this research that is titled First Aid for Improving Safety in Schools, A Teacher's Perception, it's an effort to understand how teachers can become catalysts in providing first aid support and promote and improve school safety for children. So when we go to schools, their primary caretakers become the teachers. And most of the children in India, they start their schooling at the age of 2 to 3 years. From 4 years onwards, they join primary school and remain there until the age of 11. Children also end up spending maximum of their time in schools. On average, data shows a minimum of 6 hours per day for approximately 250 years in a day is what is spent by them. And what this does is this increases their exposure to a range of risks and injuries and accidents. And as we all understand, this early and middle childhood, this age group of between 4 to 11 years, it's an extremely vulnerable time period. And we've all been through these growing up years. And we recognize that at this age, it may not always be possible to shield ourselves from accidents and injuries. Children, and especially the younger and the smaller children, they often find it difficult in comprehending the risks and in controlling their impulsivity. As also explained by the World Health Organization, injury is one of the leading causes of mortality among children below the age of 18, and more than 8 lakh children every year succumb to injuries. Along with this, tens and millions need hospitalization for non-fatal injuries, out of which many end up with disabilities that have lifelong consequences. So what can be certain ways that help in ensuring that our children are protected? So one of the most important ways in which school safety can be supported is if we have bystanders who are well-versed in first aid and related practices. First aid is a series of interventions that can be performed by a bystander or even by the victim themselves immediately with minimal or no medical equipment. So it consists of uncomplicated procedures that can help prevent fatality, and it does not require any prior medical training. So which means that anyone can train in first aid. So that's why our key question became that how can we make teachers as partners to first aid who can be equipped with the right skills and knowledge of first aid so that they can respond effectively on time for crisis management. The Tech Mahindra Foundation therefore has carried out an extensive primary analysis and survey of school teachers, and we mainly focused on primary school teachers in government schools to first understand their current perception, level of first aid knowledge, and then find their preparedness and the gaps to identify the roadmap for actions. So let us look at certain key results that we found through our survey. One of the major results that we found was that a significant number of teachers have been confronted and have encountered emergency situations in schools. So around 1/3 of teachers who were surveyed have been confronted with these medical emergencies, and about 50% of them have intervened to provide first aid, with around 40% choosing to take the child to a nearby medical facility, or they have informed their parents. Secondly, it was also found that most of the teachers have only minimal to partial understanding, and the knowledge of first aid isn't as good or proficient. It is still very limited. This is also understood in the background of the fact that more than 90% of teachers have reported that they haven't received any prior first aid or related training. So even though majority have had no prior medical training or first aid training, they have still showed basic to partial understanding. Therefore, gaps need to be filled so that we can improve on this and we can make this knowledge good or to take it to the proficient level. Teachers in the survey, they were also asked to identify some common medical emergency situations that can be intervened using first aid, and maximum of teachers, that is over 50%, correctly identified situations arising from burns, suspicious fractures, bleeding, major cuts, or animal or insect bites. However, when they were asked what kind of first aid response is required, we found that extremely small percentages of 4% correctly identified the first aid response for fracture, and 0.25% they found the correct first aid response for animal or insect bites. We also found that approximately half the teachers were aware about the first aid response that can arise in case of electrocution or choking, but less than half, which was about 44%, were aware of the first aid response in case of emergencies that may arise from irregular brain activities like seizures, epileptic fits, or even breathing related abnormalities. Another major finding told us that there is a need to improve upon the basic preparedness of teachers when it comes to first aid action in terms of the essentials and the resources that are required to strengthen the first aid response. So while we saw that an encouraging majority of 67% were aware of all the items that make a first aid kit, they however lacked knowledge about when to replace or replenish these items. We also found a very promising percentage of 96% who were fully aware of the emergency helpline number for an ambulance, but only 19% were fully aware of what services does an ambulance provide. The study also wanted to understand the teachers' knowledge and awareness regarding medical emergency response teams that can be present in schools. So these teams, they comprise of trained school representatives who can readily take first aid action in case of any emergency. So while every 3 out of 4 teachers were aware of having such a team in their school, more than 2/5 of teachers knew about the team's composition. We also found that about 1/3 of teachers had basic to partial understanding about the team's role and responsibility, and an extremely small percentage of 6% were fully aware. So based on our survey findings and observation, the report also came up with some recommendations. The first one being that there is a need to create a good emergency response team in schools that helps to provide a clear job description and job roles that can be followed during emergencies. Schools also need to develop and adopt first aid checklists along with a clear display of important emergency helpline numbers and numbers of nearby hospitals and dispensaries with which schools can also have tie-ups. There is also a need to have a customized training program that is based on the needs and the level of knowledge and competencies of the teachers. So with these, we have concluded our report, and we would now like to take this conversation forward and to get deeper into the insight into this critical issue related to child safety. So I would now like to invite Dr. Vanshri Singh to give the keynote address.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Mahindra Tech Foundation to invite Indian Red Cross for this first aid online meeting. And I also want to thank CEO of Tech Mahindra for his brief. I want to start with Red Cross work profile, which we are doing for last 100 years. Indian Red Cross Society has started in India in 1920. Now Indian Red Cross has completed 100 years of his service in India. Other national societies are there across the world in 192 countries. And International Committee of Red Cross and International Federation of Red Cross, they are two our movement partners who work together with all the national societies. Red Cross has many core activities like blood services, disaster management, and also first aid is also one of the activity where we give the training to our people, like as per the mandate, we have to train the people who are with the corporate, with the factories, industries, driver, instructors, and this is as per the mandate, or you can say as per the law. They have to take the training, and this certificate is used for their employment as well as for their promotions. Secondly, we also train the students of school level and also the college level. This certificate is not for the professional, but it is only for the awareness purpose. There are two wings, Red Cross wing and also the St. John wing. Both are doing the training program for the first aid. As the theme of this year is for the school children's, basically. So this emphasis should be given that we should train the school children so that they can be helpful not only in the school for themselves, but also for their parents, grandparents, neighbors, and also for their colleagues while playing outside the home. In fact, in the home also, many of the first aid requirements are there for their grandparents. If they understand the first aid from the grassroots level, from the starting, from the lower level, or what is exactly the system of the body, and they can understand why the bleeding has to be stopped immediately. So that grassroots level understanding will make them more familiar, you can say more comprehensive to take up this issue. And also they can not only save the life of the patients, but also in the larger way, the patient stay can be reduced, and it is easy for the doctor for the treatment for that patient. And I'm very much impressed to see how largely your organization is involved with various of CSR activity. Really, it is very impressive. And I also want to take up this with my Secretary General so that in a larger way also Indian Red Cross Society can join with your organization to spread the awareness for the first aid through your group of the people. So with this, I want to thank all of you, the dignitaries, the officers, and the officers from the government. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vanshi. It was extremely insightful, and it is quite encouraging and wonderful to hear the work Red Cross is doing in the area of first aid. And you have made a very important point that how to disseminate the knowledge and awareness about first aid, because that becomes extremely crucial to address any emergency situation and reduce any kind of emergency to become fatal in nature. So thank you so much, Dr. Vanshi. We are now ready to start our panel discussion. So let me welcome my colleague and our moderator for this panel discussion, Varsha Gupta. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rupsha. Good morning, everyone. Today we have vibrant and eminent group of individuals for the panel discussion on the issue of first aid and the role of teachers. I would like to introduce you to our panelists. So I'll start with Dr. Subrato. Although Rupsha has already introduced him, but I would like to add some more points about him. That Dr. Subrato is a co-founder of Lifeline Foundation and working with government on the policy level to improve the emergency medical services in India. Times of India also calls Dr. Subrato Das the country's best known EMS expert. So welcome Dr. Subrato to the panel. Now I would like to introduce our second panelist, Dr. Ms. Reenu Sharma. She is a teacher with 22 years of experience, and currently she is working in New Simapuri First EDMC School. She is the recipient of Teacher States Award. She is also a mentor teacher with EDMC. Welcome, Reenu ma'am. Now, I would also like to invite Dr. Nidhi Kevalramani. Currently, Nidhi is the Dean of Tech Mahindra Foundation Smart Academy, Smart Healthcare Academy, and is also heading the West region. Dr. Nidhi has experience of 15 years in diversified healthcare fields like hospitals, TPA, healthcare, BPO, healthcare education management, and skill development. She is designated external expert on the Board of Faculty of Vocational Medical Studies for Parul University in Gujarat. She is also working as a member of Governing Council for UNICEF Mahapeconet platform. Welcome, Dr. Nidhi, to the panel. Before we move to the panel discussion, I would like Dr. Subrato to share your views on the research report and the topic we are discussing on in today's session. Dr. Subrato. So you have unmute.
Am I audible
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me here. And Dr. Nidhi, I really want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. all of you need to excuse me for the light at the back. I'm traveling and I've just found a restaurant and got into a corner to hook onto this. So the lights are not in my hands.
It's okay.
This report that I read and Varsha was kind enough to send me an abstract is wonderful. I really appreciate that perhaps this is the first documented research I've seen for first aid in schools. People talk about slide presentations and everything, bullet points, but I haven't come across a comprehensive report like this. And I really appreciate this. Targeting teachers, something very new. We have been, as Varsha and Dr. Nidhi are aware, we've been trying to train teachers in Gujarat. Unfortunately, no documentary evidences. Fine. Now I have something and we'll be very happy if we can share and we can use it to impress upon school managements on this. One thing that struck me about the report is that only 40% of teachers took the children, the injured or the ill children, for first aid to a hospital or something. I don't understand why this reluctance to help. I mean, that is one thing. If the report could have brought out, would have been wonderful. Why teachers are really not, is it the lack of knowledge? Is it the lack of fear from parents if something goes wrong? Or is it the school management's hesitancy? Something if the report would have brought out would have been wonderful. But really, really compliment the entire organization for this report.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable views on the report and this research. I'm sure this research is answering a few questions, but is opening up many more questions and area on this field. So I would like to start the panel discussion with you only, Dr. Subrata. I would like you to tell us something about your work and mission of Lifeline Foundation, especially in the area of first aid.
Okay. Lifeline Foundation started off as a very small initiative. My wife and I suffered an accident in '99 and left to die on the highway for nearly 4.5 hours. And surviving that accident in the hospital, we sort of realized India doesn't have an emergency helpline for trauma care. It took us in '99 to 2002 to launch the first helpline. We took it to 5 states, and then Mr. Ramalinga Raju of Satyam. History might judge him differently, but he initiated the 108. And that's where we are. So having worked on the highways, saved a lot of people, we thought one of those big things that need to be done is make it inclusive trauma care. When people call for an ambulance, fine, a 108 or something comes in, but what do you do till an ambulance arrives? You just stand and let the person bleed to death, or a cardiac arrest patient dies, or a lady in labor gets into critical position, nobody does anything. And that's where a very high quality first aid came in, not the regular first aid that's done in industries. You could call it advanced first aid, even training women about how to handle a labor. Over time, we have realized that we have to go to industries, we have to go to schools, and not school primary students, because as I was sharing with you, Varsha, it's very difficult to train 6th standard, 7th standard students, though they are easily available because curriculum ka itna pressure nahi hota hai. But a student is not physically able to perhaps lift a victim. A student perhaps in 6th standard, 5th standard doesn't comprehend what is being told to him. And the most important thing is if an emergency happens, adults would try to push the student to safety, even if he's talking sense. That's a reaction adults, parents, and others would have. So instead of investing in primary school students, you should invest in, that's what our experience is, invest in higher grade students, but more importantly for teachers, because they are the continuum in a school. Students leave, So teachers, I mean, that's what I really liked about this report, that is targeted to teachers. Coming to teachers, I realize this panel is a bit gender light on the male side, but my wife Sushmita and our Deputy CEO Isha, whom I think Dr. Nidhi has met virtually, they are firm believers that when you train teachers, train the women, because women are more health conscious, women are more emergency conscious, because when an emergency happens, and more emergencies happen at home, you have to understand that, right from kitchen burns to cuts to somebody falling in a washroom and breaking a hip joint. You train women, the retention is much more, and they can carry it home. And women obviously are better mentors to young kids than men are. So my point here has been that train women teachers, train female teachers, it really helps doing that. A man thinks that fine, you may train me in first aid, but nothing would happen to me, that bravado comes in. And that perhaps is a wasted resource. I'm sorry for saying this, but I would be hauled up for gender bias. But I feel more training should be targeted at women teachers. That's what our experience has been.
Okay. Thank you for sharing about the Lifeline Foundation work and mission and the vision, especially. I would like to like you to share also about you work with students and with teachers. So, what kind of impact it is creating or it can create when we work with teachers, especially? I would like you to highlight this point now.
See, as I said, teachers perhaps are the best target because there's a continuum, so they are there.
Right.
One of the things that we realize in training in first aid, and that's very essential for everybody to understand, is we train people on first aid for accidents. One of the big lacuna is the teacher's involvement in every student's physical disabilities or diseases. I'll give you examples. We've come across so many physical teachers pushing a child to do exercise, physical training exercise, knowing that he has a juvenile diabetes, knowing that he has vertigo and still making him climb up. Those are things that teachers need to be told. That unfortunately is not in any first aid manual or module. Teachers need to know their students and their medical histories to be careful. It's nothing shaming. If somebody has juvenile diabetes, he has, you can't do anything about it. But that is a big lacuna in first aid trainings where teachers are not sensitized to that first aid is given after an accident or incident happens. First aid also should be about preventing something when you're talking to teachers. Schools need to be very careful about what predisposing factor a child has and be prepared for such things. So that's a huge thing that we have come across. We've trained around 10,000 students and teachers in Baroda, and we've realized most schools do not give value to the predisposing health factors that a student might already have. If a training model can really pick it up, it's wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Subhrata. You have highlighted this point that first aid is not just about after injury, it is also about preventing the injury. And that's a very important point, I think, in our panel discussion. And teachers should be aware about it, that how we can prevent injury as well. Now, I would like to ask Renu Sharma ma'am, did you ever face any medical emergency situation in your school, in your career? You have 22 years of experience, you're working for 22 years. Do you face any situation like that? You can unmute, yes. Yes, ma'am.
आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार।
नमस्कार मैम।
सबसे पहले मैं आप सभी का धन्यवाद करती हूँ कि मुझे बुलाया गया, और सर ने बहुत अच्छी बात अपने बताए अनुभव, और मेरे साथ भी बहुत सारे अनुभव जुड़े हुए हैं। मैं लगभग 22 साल से हूँ अध्यापन क्षेत्र में। तो बच्चों का स्कूल है, लगभग हमारे पास 1200 के करीब हमारे बच्चे हैं हमारे स्कूल में, और खेल का मैदान भी है, तो बच्चे खेलते रहते हैं। तो कुछ न कुछ वहाँ पर चीज़ें घटित होती ही रहती हैं। आप कितनी भी सावधानी बरत लीजिए, कितनी भी बच्चों में जागरूकता आप कर दीजिए, लेकिन बच्चे हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, प्राइमरी स्कूल है, तो कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ घटनाएं घटित होती ही रहती हैं। तो कुछ बहुत सारी ऐसी घटनाएं हैं, लेकिन जो कुछ ऐसी घटनाएं जो नहीं भूलती हैं, तो उन्हीं में से एक घटना है जो मैं आप सभी के साथ साझा करना चाहूँगी। हमारे ही विद्यालय की क्लास की एक स्टूडेंट थी जिसका नाम मुस्कान था। बच्चों के साथ आपस में ही खेल रहे थे, तो दरवाजे के शायद धक्का मुक्की में ही उसका एक जो फर्स्ट फिंगर थी वो दरवाजे के बीच में आ गई, और बहुत तेज उसको लगा, और बच्चा बहुत घबरा गया। उस वक्त बच्चा बहुत घबरा गया और वो रोने लगा। तो जैसे ही हम लोग वहीं पास में बैठे हुए थे, लंच टाइम था, तो हम दौड़ कर गई मैं, और मैंने सबसे पहले जो एक देनी चाहिए थी मुझे फर्स्ट एड, मैंने उसको जल्दी से गोद में उठा लिया और उसको ढेर सारा प्यार किया। सबसे पहले यही काम किया। उसके बाद उसके हमने हैंड वॉश, थोड़ा सा उसको हैंड वॉश किया, उसका डिटॉल से उसको साफ किया और बहुत सारा उसको प्यार दिया। तो थोड़ा सा बच्चा सिक्योर फील करने लगा इस चीज़ से। फिर हम जल्दी ही अपने जो नज़दीक था हमारे पास में जो भी डॉक्टर था, क्लिनिक था, हम उसमें गए, लेकिन थोड़ा सा उसका ब्लड बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहा था, तो उसने मना कर दिया कि मैं नहीं इसको देख सकता, शायद ज़्यादा इसमें ब्लीडिंग हो रही है, आप और भी अच्छे अस्पताल में लेकर जाइए। फिर हम एक नज़दीक में ही एक प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल था छोटा सा, वहाँ गए, तो उन्होंने भी मना कर दिया था। लेकिन इस दौरान मैं बच्चे को साथ में ही अपनी गोदी में लेकर उसको प्यार करती रही कि बच्चा कहीं भी ये ना हो जाए कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं क्या हो गया है कि मेरा डॉक्टर जो है मुझे देख भी नहीं पा रहे हैं। तो उन्होंने कहा कोई पास में ही कोई सरकारी अस्पताल हो वहाँ आप इन्हें लेकर जाइए। तो हम पास में ही गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल था वहाँ पर लेकर गए और उसको इस दौरान हमने उनके पेरेंट्स को भी इन्फॉर्म कर दिया था और हम बच्चे की हमने उसकी हाथ को पकड़ रखा था और उसको लेकर गए। तो तुरंत डॉक्टर ने उनको एडमिट किया और 3 स्टिचेस आए उनके और बच्चा लेकिन बच्चे में एक कॉन्फिडेंस था कि हाँ मेरी जो मदर टीचर है वो मेरे साथ है और पेरेंट्स भी बहुत ही खुश थे कि हाँ हमारा बच्चा अगर कुछ हुआ इसके साथ तो बच्चा बहुत ही सुरक्षित हाथों में।
थैंक यू रेनू मैम फॉर शेयरिंग दिस इंसिडेंट। और मुझे थोड़ा सा सुनते वक्त ही लग रहा था कि पता नहीं कितनी बड़ी चीज हुई है कि बच्चे को डॉक्टर नहीं देख पा रहे हैं और उसको बड़े अस्पताल लेके जाने की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली
वर्षा जी उस वक्त ये हाल था कि वो इतना ज्यादा उसको ब्लीड कर रहा था कि मेरे सारे कपड़े खराब हो चुके थे। तो एक वाकई वो देखकर डर गए थे कि ज्यादा ही तो सीरियस है, लेकिन मैं उस बच्चे की भी हिम्मत की दाद दूंगी, बहुत दिलेर था कि उस बच्चे को थोड़ा सा ही हम जैसे थोड़ा सा उसमें प्यार किया तो बच्चा बहुत समझ चुका था। एक ये भी एक बहुत जरूरी चीज है हम सभी टीचर्स के लिए भी, बच्चे को आप इस तरीके से अपने साथ ढाल लीजिए कि बच्चा बिल्कुल घबराए नहीं, डरे नहीं, क्योंकि डर के साथ थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है संभालना स्वयं को भी बच्चे को।
बिल्कुल जी, थैंक यू रीनू मैम, आपने हमारे साथ में ये बहुत ही पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया। डॉक्टर सुब्रतो, मैं आपसे एक क्विक रिस्पांस चाहूंगी कि जिस तरह से मैम ने हैंडल की उस सिचुएशन को, what do you think, was it right or what else could be done over there?
You know, the most important thing रेनू जी ने जो कहा और किया, मैंने जैसे पहले कहा लेडीज को वुमेन को ट्रेन करना जरूरी है, वो जो एक प्यार दिया, that's perhaps the first element of first aid, and that is perhaps why another reason why women teachers should be trained more, because a motherly instinct comes in, a sisterly instinct comes in, which is so important that compassion comes in before you give the medical first aid. So just Renu ji, really thank you for helping me re-stress my point.
ओके डॉक्टर सुब्रतो, मैं आपसे एक और क्वेश्चन इसी से जुड़ता हुआ पूछना चाहूंगी कि ये एक इंसिडेंट रेनू मैम ने हमारे साथ में शेयर किया है, बट देयर मस्ट बी, जब आप टीचर्स के साथ में बात करते हैं, देयर मस्ट बी मोर इंसिडेंसेस. व्हाट आर द कॉमन इंसिडेंसेस दैट हैपन इन द स्कूल्स and we need to prepare our teacher and our school staff to handle all these medical emergency situations so that it won't get worse? Yeah.
See, the commonest is what I've seen is cuts and bleeds and fractures. One of the most common things that happen also within fractures is dislocation of the shoulder. I mean, pulling the shoulder is such a common thing, you know, खेलते हुए. So वो एक बहुत जरूरी है. Otherwise, bruises, cuts, खेलते हुए होता है. Psychological first aid is very important also because a child gets traumatized. Because जब किसी का cut, I mean, somebody has an injury, किसी को लग जाता है, चोट है, बाकी स्टूडेंट्स काफी उनकी, वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, लूज हिंदी में खिल्लियां उड़ाते हैं. They laugh at it. Yeah, you're such a sissy, you're such a like this. तुम ये नहीं हो, इतना भी नहीं सहन कर सकते. There's a lot of psychological trauma that is impacted by his co-students because they laugh at him, which is very common. लड़का बच्चा गिर जाता है तो बाकी बच्चे उसको चिढ़ाते हैं. For a teacher, it's very important to make the other students understand that no, he's already in trauma, she's already in trauma. Don't do that. So that is another thing that teachers need to understand. That's a very common thing I've seen. When students have said, when you say, one of the biggest thing is other students don't support me. They give incidences where they were teased. So if a teacher can intervene there and start talking to students, that is very important. So वो एक है. One more common thing that I've seen is which is very funny is bites. Students bite each other. I mean, the kids would bite each other. You know, that's one way of escaping from somebody's grip. Very funny, but it really happens. You know, so that is another injury that I'm continuously seeing it. And schools need to be prepared with a lot of first aid material. That's another complaint I received from teachers is material काफी नहीं होता. And you do not have it sterilized. So एक box है जिसमें cotton roll रखा है, everyone tears from the cotton. So it's getting more and more infected, you know. So वो सब चीजें हैं school में, which goes on happening.
Okay. थैंक यू डॉक्टर सुब्रतो, आपने हमारा एक इंसिडेंट से आपने हमारा ब्रॉड भी कर दिया है व्यू कि किस किस तरीके की इंजरीज के लिए टीचर्स शुड बी प्रिपेयर्ड और स्कूल स्टाफ एटलीस्ट शुड बी प्रिपेयर्ड. Now I would like to come to Dr. Nidhi. So Dr. Nidhi, you have experience of training the one second. So you have experience of training paramedics or allied healthcare professionals. Can you share with us how easy or difficult it will be to prepare, train common people or people from non-medical background in first aid? Yeah.
Yes. So basically, it's I'll not say it's difficult. It's quite easy to train even a person from a non-medical background. So in fact, that's the reason first aid is also taught as to the person who is admitted in army. It's also taught to air hostess because they are the one who would provide a first aid in the sky. And similarly, in US, in fact, there are 18 states who make it mandatory for the teachers. It's like a first aid is the part of the curriculum of the teachers training. So I'll not say it's difficult. It's quite a easy thing. But what I would emphasize here is it all depends upon the quality of the training and how it is imparted. So rather than the theoretical, it would be better to have a demonstration and hands-on the management so the teachers are confident if any such situation arises. So that's the thing which we should focus on while delivering a training to the teachers.
Okay. So Nidhi, do you have any experience of teaching the first aid techniques to the common people or layman people, if I'll say?
So yes, Varsha, we have done quite a few trainings for first aid and basic life support to the common people. Like we did few workshops for the traffic police and also for the Indian police services. So traffic police is again one of the people who can if there is a trauma or there is a roadside accident, if the emergency services arises, they can at least prevent further complication. So we have experience of doing this workshops, and we found that it was easily absorbed and perceived by the common layperson also, because as I told you, the emphasis was more on the hands-on rather than the technical, the theoretical technical component.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nidhi, for sharing it, that it is possible to train people in first aid, even laymen, to at least handle the situation. I would like to ask Renu ma'am. Renu ma'am, teachers के पास में काफी सारे और काम होते हैं. इन सब के साथ में क्या ये possible है कि हम teachers को first aid में भी train कर सके, और इस तरह की situations जो आपने share की, डॉक्टर दास ने हमें बताया कि इतनी situations होती हैं, क्या ये पॉसिबल है कि हम टीचर्स को भी ट्रेन कर सकें इस चीज में?
बिल्कुल वर्षा जी, मैं ये सोचती हूँ कि हर टीचर को भी ट्रेन होना चाहिए, जो भी वहाँ पर विद्यालय परिसर में जो भी हैं एम्प्लॉय हैं, सभी को ये ट्रेन होना चाहिए फर्स्ट एड, क्योंकि बच्चे हैं, कहीं ना कहीं कितनी भी सावधानी एहतियात बरतना, कुछ ना कुछ उनके साथ घटनाएं होती ही रहेंगी। तो हम सभी को ही ट्रेन होना चाहिए कि बच्चों को इमीडिएट ऐसी हेल्प दी जा सके मॉरल सपोर्ट के साथ साथ कि जो बच्चे के लिए ठीक रहे, बच्चा जिसमें अपने आप को ठीक फील करे और वो उसको भी लगे कि हाँ मेरे साथ कुछ अच्छा हो रहा है, मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगा।
ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू रेनू मैम। Dr. Subrata, I would like to come back to you again, and it will be my last question for this panel discussion. There must be some difference between providing medical aid and first aid. So, जब हम अपनी trainings prepare करें या फिर अपने teachers के साथ में जब हम plan करें अपनी training, how can we differentiate this, differentiate और उनको कैसे बता पाएं कि हमें medical aid provide करने और first aid provide करने में there is a difference and you have to take care of these points as well. So I would like to know this from you, and with that I would like to conclude this panel as well. Yeah.
Varsha, a very justified question. It's difficult to answer when you're training people in medical aid, first aid, because questions आते ही रहते हैं teachers के पास में, इसके आगे क्या करूं? So what we do is we draw a line and say iske aage hospital karega, ya iske aage ek paramedic karega. So for every situation that you come across a question, you say ye aapka limit hai. खराब लगे सुनने में फिर भी, it is not about saying कि आपको नहीं आता, but you will have to tell them इसके आगे नहीं करें. So it depends on every training module. आप अगर fractures में train कर रहे हैं, उसको stabilize कीजिए, splint कीजिए, उसके आगे मत कीजिए, उसको खींचाम कीजिए करके adjust करने की बात नहीं है. That is needed, and X-ray or a CT is needed. So that is because the best way to answer this is teachers के लिए is आपके पास जो resources है, वो use कीजिए, वहां तक सीमित रखिए, उससे आगे नहीं. If you don't have your resources, don't try to be adventurous. First aid is not about adventure. It's like I always say, it is so easy for when we see in a Hindi film Shah Rukh Khan putting a kajol on a shoulder and running. Ask somebody to put somebody on a shoulder and take 10 steps. So first aid should not be about heroism. Unfortunately, हमें लगता है वो heroism. So and another thing that needs to be defined very clearly in first aid is, like आपने जैसे पूछा कि कहाँ तक सीमित होना चाहिए. और एक लेवल है जो समझना चाहिए, सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम फर्स्ट एड. इट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग. टीचर्स शुड नॉट गेट इनटू सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू. That is an absolutely core fire or emergency service action. That again is being adventurous, because to save one life you can't endanger another 2 lives.
Right.
So personal safety is something teachers also need to be understood. But I just want to add something. You know, I've been always thinking about it. Why can't Tech Mahindra develop an app where a teacher can go on to? I mean, you have the reach. You're a tech company. An app, fine. Somebody has a fracture, goes on the app, sees do's and don'ts of a fracture. So instead of memorizing, instead of having a booklet, trying to search the booklet, if it can be made mandatory for every teacher in a school to have an app on a cell phone, a smartphone, that would perhaps help. Then you know what to do and not to do beyond.
I think that can be the next step of after this training. We all should think about it, and of course prepare people readily available. कैसे हम teachers को या फिर किसी भी और को provide कर सकते हैं what they should be doing in any situation. That could be surely the next step. Thank you, Dr. Subrato, Dr. Nidhi and Renu ma'am for the wonderful panel discussion. I'm sure such things, I mean, there must be more questions arise after this interaction, but we may not have time to answer all these questions, but surely lot of questions arises in our mind with this panel discussion, which needs to be focused on in the later time, maybe. So I would now like to move on to the Q&A session, and I would like to call Rupsha for this. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Varsha. And thank you so much, panelists. We certainly have a lot of questions pouring in, but in the interest of time, I would try to club the questions and ask it to our panelists. So I think the first question, Dr. Subrato, I would like to ask you. You have already reiterated the importance of training teachers in first aid, and also how it's important to have knowledge about some predisposing factors as well that a child may have, so that the teacher can act accordingly. So drawing from what you have shared, I would like to further understand that how schools can create an interface between the healthcare centers and professionals to build on this knowledge. And also, in your opinion, how do you think the government can frame policy to support these kind of schools to take this agenda forward? So how do we institutionalize this entire process? Dr. Subrato, your thoughts?
Yeah, let me answer your second question first. I find a lot of lacunae. I'm not being critical of government, but what I feel is, as Dr. Nidhi said, abroad first aid training is mandatory. India, everything is about guidelines. It's not mandatory. The CBSE itself says that included into co-curricular activity. It is not a co-curricular activity. It's a life-saving thing. Usme marks, exams, wo sab nahi aate. So that is where government perhaps is going wrong by making first aid training voluntary. By not there is, I think, a bylaw in the CBSE which says that first aid training should be mandatory for school teachers, but I don't see it implemented. I don't know why. There's this lovely statement: we are a country of too many laws and norms, but governance is not there. The same thing is here. If there is a bylaw that CBSE has said that first aid training should be mandatory, why is it not being enforced? policies are there, you can create policies, but somebody needs to enforce them. So the policy level, there are lacunas, but there are existing policies, usko to implement kijiye. Wo nahi ho raha hai, and I'm sorry being critical about it. But the other thing that I know school management would not like it, teachers would not like to hear this, but I feel first aid training should be made mandatory for teachers, and their increments should be linked to it. Refresher courses attend karne padenge aapko. It's like, one of those big things that go wrong in India is professionals are not asked to take a re-licensing. You travel across the world, you have to, right from a physiotherapist to a dentist to a doctor, everyone, even a chartered accountant has to re-license. Upskilling hota hai. India mein ek baar MBBS ban gaye to ban gaye. So that also should apply to teachers. Like you have refresher courses for other trainings, first aid also should have refresher courses. And interfacing with the hospitals, I suppose it's pretty easy. You will definitely find interested medical practitioners wanting to spend time with children and teachers. Wo to hoga hi. I mean, it's a very, I haven't seen doctors really refusing, ke nahi, I'll not come to a school. Take the parents. There would be parents who are doctors. Ask their involvement. I mean, every parent could volunteer one Sunday to train one particular. So that interface also is easily done. The question is, the management has to realize that they need to invest in it. Teachers need to realize that it's not about the curriculum, the paucity of time or something. That is where perhaps the bottleneck of the interface with the doctors is. Management needs to take the step. The doctor will not.
Thank you so
I
much.
hope
Yes, certainly, Dr. Subrata. So one more question, and this will be the last question. We're very sorry we're running out of time. So one more question, I would like to just throw it open to the panel, and whoever may wish to, they can respond to it. So according to you, Dr. Subrata, Dr. Nidhi, Renu ma'am, what role can the community and volunteers from colleges play when it comes to first aid projects? आपको क्या लगता है community members और colleges के जो बच्चे होते हैं, जो members होते हैं, वो कैसा रोल प्ले कर सकते हैं जब हम फर्स्ट एड ट्रेनिंग या फर्स्ट एड प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में बात करते हैं? Dr. Nidhi, if you would like to chime in.
Yes, Ruksha. So here I would like to really highlight, in terms of the volunteers and the people who are already trained in first aid, they can take a lead to create this awareness. And specifically, if we talk about the medical graduate students or even the students who are pursuing an allied health professionals, they can take this as a, project where they can create an awareness, go to the community and, train them on the CPR technique. This will be a win-win situation in both the ways. And number one, it is like the student herself, the paramedical student or even the medical student would herself become quite confident enough in handling such situation if situation arise. And number two, at the same time, they are creating an awareness in the community how to further, prevent the complication and act immediately along with the compassion during if some emergency arises. So I think what we should really look for is a public health component or community health component, and that will come if such volunteers come forward and this particular information of handling emergencies and first aid is disseminated in all parts and in all the communities.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nidhi, for sharing your views. And thank you everyone for your enthusiastic participation. I can still see we have more questions pouring in, but in the interest of time, we would request everyone, you may post your questions on the chat. And in case we are unable to respond to any of your questions, please email it to us at events@techmahindrafoundation.org. And thank you so much, Dr. Subrata, Dr. Nidhi, and Renu ma'am for sharing such important insights. We do understand that it's perhaps not feasible to expect all the answers, but we can certainly draw very important pointers from such an enriching discussions. I mean, it's highly possible that there can be incidences that may occur in school. So it's very important to not only know about how to manage them, but also how to prevent them. And perhaps with better implementation, we can perhaps fill that gap and work more and strengthen more our capacity buildings. So we are ready to now move to the next part of our program, a very exciting part. So let me invite our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Chetan Kapoor, to carry forward this discussion.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rupsha. I think the last hour or so has been extremely insightful, and it has been a privilege to listen to Dr. Vanashri, Dr. Subrato, Renuji, and of course, Dr. Nidhi from our Healthcare Academy. I do hope these conversations will bring the agenda of safety of children in our schools center stage, and how our teachers need to be the first responders in case of any emergency that requires first aid. For us at Tech Mahindra Foundation, the approach of focusing on teachers as the key harbinger of change in the context of our classrooms is now beginning to yield results. While education of our children has always been central to our work, a few years ago, we decided to increase the attention on our work related to capacity development of teachers in service. Starting with the East Delhi Municipal Corporation in 2013, and then the North Delhi Municipal Corporation in 2018, we are now training over 2,500 teachers annually through our Shikshantar program. We had launched this program with the overarching goal of creating happier classrooms, which we have now expanded to creating happier and safer classrooms, thus broadening the responsibility that rests on our shoulders. Of course, the 2,500 number that I just mentioned pertain to the era that will be referred to as the pre-COVID era, the onset of COVID-19 in March 2020, and the interruptions that have followed for our schools has disrupted education no end. Shikshantar was no exception, and we were compelled to abort our training sessions that were being conducted as 5-day workshops in the physical mode. Even as our country was grappling with the unprecedented pandemic and the lockdowns, we quickly pivoted to online training. However, it was clear to us that our teachers were struggling with the sudden shift to online learning, and given the significant need that emerged, we introduced an online course for teachers in digital literacy in the summer of 2020 itself. This digital literacy program has now reached close to 1,500 teachers, not just in Delhi, but also in the states of UP, Uttarakhand, Maharashtra, Bihar, and Haryana. One unfortunate fallout that we observed soon after the onset of the pandemic was increased incidences of child abuse, a sad reflection of the times we are living in. In response to this observation, we enhanced our work in child safety and protection and included online workshops for teachers on this sensitive subject. We also introduced a course on cybersecurity, as we knew that the shift to online learning might expose our children to the perils of cyber attacks and other hazards of the cyber age that we live in. Till date, over 200 teachers have been trained on child safety and cybersecurity. In keeping with our emphasis on the need to make our learning spaces safer for our children, I am delighted to share that we are now introducing a new program, the School Safety Program. As the name suggests, the overarching goal of this program is to enhance safety of our children in schools. And given that what we have learned today, the role of teachers in this hugely important task is critical. This program is also a convergence of Tech Mahindra Foundation's ongoing work in teacher training, healthcare, and child safety. For launching this new program, I am delighted to invite to this platform Dr. Seema, the Additional Director of Education at EDMC. Born and brought up in Delhi, Dr. Seema Sharma completed her graduation and post-graduation from Hansraj College, Delhi University, and then went on to do her PhD in chemistry. She cleared the UPSC exam and was posted as Assistant Director in 2009, and subsequently rose to become the Additional Director in 2018, the post she is holding currently. Dr. Seema, I must add, has been a huge support to us at TMF in our in-service teacher education program at EDMC. Dr. Seema, welcome to this forum, and I request you to share a few words on the issue of child safety in our schools.
Good afternoon to one and all. Thank you, Tech Mahindra. Thank you, Chetan sir. I'm very happy to join the program Sanji Samaj 4th edition for the topic Safety of Students, First Aid, Role of School Teacher. All the teachers have a responsibility to keep their students safe. This is the first priority when the child reaches to the school. The child has entered the classroom, the teacher has taken the attendance. Her responsibility starts for the safety of the child till he or she reaches back to the parents in the afternoon after completing the school education for 6 to 8 hours as per the school timetable. First aid means the difference between a minor injury or illness becoming more serious or becoming life-threatening. I'm very thankful to Tech Mahindra team for coming as a support for organizing the workshops, trainings on first aid as a subject, as a topic. At the same time, I'm also thankful to Dr. Subroto Das for giving us the suggestion and guidance for introducing first aid as an app. I will definitely look into it and I will speak about this to our higher authorities. I would like to share my views, my experiences for first aid. Basically, first aid is an emergency care given immediately to an injured person. The 5 main aims of first aid are preserve life, prevent the escalation of illness or injury, promote recovery, provide pain in relief, protect the unconsciousness. As during the discussion, I have been hearing and listening to the conversation and the communication. The experiences which have shown me the injuries in the schools are starting from the nursery, KG, kindergarten students. As Dr. Subroto correctly mentioned, the children try to bite each other because in current situation, we have nuclear families and most of the families have one child. They do not have the habit of sharing. They do not have the habit of interacting with each other. They have possessiveness. So the kindergarten students, when they are provided with the toys, with attractive beads, with boxes, they show possession of each and every activity for themselves. They do not want to share with each other. So they try to bite each other. Second thing, if they get a beautiful pencil, a fragrant rubber, eraser, they try to smell it. While smelling, when they inhale, at times it has been observed, if the size of the pencil or the size of the eraser is small, it goes into their nose. At home also, it has been observed that few items enter to their nose or to their ears. While writing with the pencil, the child picks up the pencil and unfortunately happen to prick it in his or her own eye itself. These are the observations in kindergarten. Coming to classes 1 to 12, when they are playing in the playground, they happen to fall down. Bruises are there, wounds are there, maybe on the knee, maybe on the elbow, maybe on the head. Cuts are observed because they are provided with certain sports material in which sharp edges are also there. standing during the assembly, having examination phobia in their mind, they start vomiting or they start giddiness. They are suffering with the fever. Immediately they collapse because the weather is warm. They have come without the breakfast. Then again, as per the weather, insects are there, honeybees and wasps. Injuries are observed due to the biting of the honeybees, biting of the wasp, or when they are coming to the school, going back to the home, on the way, dog bite is there. They happen to fall down. They are riding a bicycle. They have been fractured. They are working in the chemistry lab. They are working at home, or they are working in SUPW, preparing candles, etc. Burning has been observed. All these are some common observations during the school tenure. One incident more I would like to share. We were going for a school picnic with senior most class, 12th class. It was their last year in the school. They were very enthusiastic, singing, dancing in the bus. All of a sudden, the driver applied the brakes. All the children happened to fall down. And the children who were sitting on the side of having capacity of 3 children sitting on one side and 2 on the other side, the students who were standing and dancing, they happened to fall down. A girl suffered with the fracture immediately. The most important thing in such instances and incidents is that the teachers, the principals, the coordinators who are escorting them, maybe in the classroom, maybe in the sports ground, maybe at the time of visit to historical monuments, visit to science museum, or going for a picnic. If any incident happens to occur, the foremost thing is we should not panic. We have to take care of the children. We have to provide the comfort and ease. As Renu Sharma has very correctly mentioned, that when the child got hurt, she gave her the comfort as a motherly affection. This is the foremost priority of a teacher. When you are caring, you are supposed to care as a mother. Because the child feels safe in the hands of the mother and a teacher when he is provided full comfort. We should never show any impulsiveness. We should attend to the child, see the seriousness of the incident, take care as per the first aid. Now, as I mentioned, the 5 main aims of first aid are: preserve life, prevent the escalation of illness or injury. If it is a simple cut or a simple wound, we have to wash it with water. We have to apply antiseptic. We all are aware of it. Dettol, Savlon, they should be readily available as a first aid kit. To make the heal wound very quickly, we should wipe it with cotton and try to bandage, and then take the child to the nearby medical hospital to provide the further medical aid by the professionals. Purpose of first aid is to minimize injury and future disability. In serious cases, first aid may be necessary to keep the victim alive. Along with first aid, I have been told by Tech Mahindra that they are providing the training for CPR also. CPR is basically known as basic life support. cardiopulmonary resuscitation. If I pronounce it in Hindi, we call it as resuscitation. And in English, again, the spellings are the same. Now, what is this? This is that all of a sudden, any one of us, not only the students, even myself, all our teachers, while walking, all of a sudden they collapse. They are also, as a colleague, we have to help and support each individual. We have to check the consciousness of the person. The very first thing we should see whether they are conscious or unconscious. Are they able to speak, respond us? Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. How are you? If they are responding, they are conscious. If they are not responding, they are unconscious. When they are unconscious, the CPR is provided. If they are responding, as per my knowledge, CPR is not required. But definitely, we should call the ambulance, we should call the authorities, we should call the relatives, we should inform the parents, and the first aid, medical aid by the professionals should be provided. These two topics which the Tech Mahindra have selected for the role of a teacher, for the training of the teachers, first aid and CPR are really worth trainings at this time of COVID-19 era. Because COVID-19, everyone has learned, but what are their side effects? What are the after effects of COVID-19? CPR is one of them. The people are having phobia, and once they happen to go with it, work with it, they feel unconscious. And especially it has been observed, the people of the age group 35 to 40 are suffering with CPR. The medical professionals may explain better than this. And with these words of thanks to Tech Mahindra for Sanji Samaj, role of a teacher for the first aid, safety of the students, CPR, I declare the launch of first aid and Sanji Samaj open. And I thank Tech Mahindra, Dr. Vanishri Singh, Dr. Subrata, Dr. Nidhi, and Renu Sharma for a wonderful communication interaction. And the program being organized by the team of Tech Mahindra is really very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Seema, and thank you, Mr. Chetan. Such encouraging words and very valuable to today's discussion. We also have an offline training that is happening today. It's happening in our EDMC teacher training campus. So let's go have a look. हम live लेके चलते हैं आपको हमारे training session में. Deepti, you are on mute.
Okay, Rupa, can you hear me now?
Yes, Deepti, you are audible.
Okay,
yes,
thank you so much. So hello everyone, this is Deepti live from In-Service Teachers Education Institute at Dilshad Garden. As already stated, we work in close collaboration with East Delhi Municipal Corporation. And as you can see on my screen, a workshop is ongoing at our campus with the EDMC teachers. This is a 6-hour workshop that is already going on. I has already started at 9. And it has been EDMC teachers are performing CPR technique under the guidance of Dr. Satish Puri. And let's have a close look and experience the training now.
और थोड़ा सा स्पीड कम हो रही है आपकी, इसके साथ में रिदम भी मेंटेन करना है, ठीक है, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. 100 कंप्रेशन जाने चाहिए 1 मिनट में इतना कैलकुलेशन हमें याद रखना है। रिकॉइल हुआ, आंखों के ऊपर प्रेशर आएगा, यहाँ पे हो गया रिकॉइल। आंखों के ऊपर या सर के ऊपर प्रेशर सिंगल हैंडेडली कीजिए सर, स्पीड ज्यादा है। अगेन चेस्ट कंप्रेशन, मिनिमम इंटरप्शन इसका और मोटो, बहुत कम इंटरप्शन हमें रखने हैं यहाँ। काउंट कीजिए, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 हो गया। तो रेस्क्यू ब्रीथ मिलेंगे यहाँ पे। पोजीशन देख लो मास्क का, ई और ई बनाना है, बस हो गया। स्पीड कम है आपका, लेफ्ट चलिए, आ गया, वेरी गुड। आ जाइए सीपीआर पे, 30 कंप्रेशन फिर से देने हैं आपको। स्पीड, रिदम एंड डिप्रेशन कितना नीचे जा रहा है, मैक्सिमम 1/3 वॉट की और अ स्पीड, सिंगल हैंडेड, वेरी गुड। आ जाइए सीपीआर पे, 5 साइकिल, 5 सीपीआर चले गए और 5
Deepti, can we hear Dr. Satish now?
आ जाएगी।
Doctor,
ठीक है, प्लीज कंटिन्यू। हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। जैसे कि आप देख रहे हो, वी आर हियर प्रैक्टिसिंग द चाइल्ड सीपीआर। लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस माई सेल्फ, आई एम डॉक्टर सतीश गोसावी। So I have an experience of 11 years in emergency management and critical care. Recently, I am heading the academic department at Smart Academy for Healthcare Delhi. So मॉर्निंग से लेकर अब तक हमने कार्डियक इमरजेंसीज और पल्मोनरी इमरजेंसीज देख लिए हैं, एंड नेक्स्ट few hours throughout day we are going to train, we are going to learn about the medical emergencies जो common होगी at the school level, right? जिसमें हम allergic reactions, seizure और diabetes management, juvenile diabetes management, ये सारी चीजें भी cover करने वाले हैं। Thank you so much. Yes, next to candidate. Anybody give any?
थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर सतीश एंड थैंक यू सो मच दीप्ति हमें दिखाने के लिए आज ऑन द ग्राउंड क्या ट्रेनिंग चल रही है। आई वुड आल्सो लाइक टू इन्फॉर्म एवरीवन, थैंक यू दीप्ति। This is our first training, this is the first batch that we are training, and we will proceed to train our second batch on the 14th, and we will keep this momentum going, and we plan on training 1,000 teachers in the first phase of our capacity building program. So thank you so much Dr. Satish and Dr. Deepti once again for showing us what is going on. I would now like to invite my colleague Barkha Samant to deliver the vote of thanks and some closing remarks. Barkha, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ruksha. It's a wonderful to have such an important panel discussion today. With this, we come to an end of a very interesting, relevant, and engaging discussion on an important topic of ensuring safety for students. This panel discussion has given us confidence, direction, and established the way forward to realize our value to create safer learning spaces for our students. The discussion also shown us that educators, government officials, policymakers, and foundations like Tech Mahindra Foundation have to join hands to create happier and safer classrooms. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Subrato Das, Dr. Vanishri, Dr. Nidhi, and Ms. Renu Sharma for the intense and enriching discussion. Our very special thank goes to our special guest, Dr. Seema Sharma, to take out time from her busy schedule and sharing her inspiring views on this important issue. Let me thank to the entire Tech Mahindra Foundation's team who has been working diligently over the last few days to run this program. I would want to thank the communication team for designing the creatives and providing backend support. All the members of ITI, EDMC, and NDMC team to run this program in a systemic way. I would also like to put a special focus on the roles of Varsha and Ruksha to pursue this research and working persistently to give it a final shape. I would also like to express my heartfelt thanks to Riva and the faculty members of Delhi Healthcare Academy to join hands to design and conduct the first aid and CPR sessions for teachers. Let me thank to our mentors at Tech Mahindra Foundation, Mr. Rakesh Soni, Mr. Chetan Kapoor, and Mr. Sajid Ali to always inspire us. At the end, I would like to thank EDMC, NDMC, Indian Red Cross Society, Lifetime Foundation, and the EMT students from Delhi Healthcare Academy and people from education and healthcare communities to attend this program. Next month, we will be back with Sandhi Samaj with another interesting discussion. Thank you so much.